Hi everyone, welcome to the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra session. My name is Momita Jabir. I am part of Technology Resource Center, ICIT. Right now, you are all muted. At the end of the session will last about like 30 minutes, and then I will take questions from you. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to type it on the chat box, and I will try my best to answer as I go along, or if needed anything at the end, I will repeat it again, okay? So what is Blackboard Collaborate Ultra? So this is the synchronous tool that Blackboard have, where you can actually host a live class session for your students. It can also be used as a video recording tool without your student. So you can go in and then record your lecture and post it for your student as well. You do not have to use it live all the time, but you have both options available. So where do you find Blackboard Collaborate Ultra? So under tools, you have to be in your Blackboard course, and you see the tools. This is where you go, as well as your students. Same access for everyone in the course. You go into the tools, and then you go to Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And it takes little time to show, set the room or to load. And then you can go to the course room. So every single course has a course room. You can also create session ahead of time if you want to, but course room works absolutely fine because students have access to it as well if they want to try it out ahead of time. So let's click on course room. And I think I have a questions or okay, no questions. Okay, so once you start, once you click on the course room, you have this option here, right? Obviously you can join the course room, but before you do join the course room, I would ask you to note this information down, right? So if you, let's say, have a student somehow loses internet connection, the students you can provide this information to the student even ahead of time, and then the students can dial in. They may be limited to some of the features, but at least they can hear you present. Okay. Okay, so I got a question that please take us slowly through how to connect a discussion, right? The discussion has to be, I mean, within Collaborate. So right now I'm just setting the Collaborate session. So when it comes to that, I will talk about it. So let's click again, how to access it. You go to Tools, you click on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and then you click on Course Room. And once you note down this information, you can simply click Join Course Room, and you will be joined. It takes a little bit of time to load. So let's wait with me. See how it works out. So I got a question, why do we not create sessions for a new class session? Thank you. You can, but you don't have to, because I will show you how you can retrieve session data for each of the sessions, right? You know your class starts at 1, you just join in the classroom. If you want to create sessions for each one, you have to create ahead of time. It will be, I guess, a little bit more work for you, but you can if you want to. Okay, so I'm in, as you can see, I already have 2 participants. 2 of my students already joined in. But before I talk about that, I want to show you what's the most important things, or where can you find things within the classroom. So this is my classroom. three areas you have to focus. This area right here is the menu options. Here, as you can see, if you put the mouse over, it says open session menu. This area bottom right here, and this is the video, audio, and the status option. So I call it status menu. And this area right here is the collaborate menu or collaborate panel, as you can see. So let's talk about the session menu first, right? So if you click on the session menu, as you can see here, you can start recording your session, and that's for even for a live session, or even you are pre-recording the session. This is where you would start recording. So if I click on it and start recording, as you can see, the option is there, session is being recorded. Your student sees that also if they are already there. If they come late, they will also see this icon right here, and it will tell them the recording in progress. At any point you want to stop recording, you go in and then you click on stop recording, right? There is no pause option. So if you stop and then start again, you will have two different video files. Here is the other options. You can how to use your phone for audio, and also how you can leave the session here as well. You can also request for Blackboard Collaborate help via this button as well. It goes to the Blackboard, the company itself, not specific to Hunter or CUNY. Okay, so most important option in this session menu is the recording option, and whether you can leave the session or not, right? So now let's talk about here, right? Here is the status. You can status set up as away if you are already in the room but not available, let's say, to ask to answer your students' questions. You can do that. Here you can also leave session from this option as well. You can also do feedbacks about how you are feeling. You also have the option to agree or disagree, and it can come in handy if you try to engage your student and you are asking them, do you agree with me that coronavirus will be over within a month, right? And then you get students response. Some of them probably will agree, some of them will probably disagree, but the students have the same option there as well. Here is the microphone, where you can share the audio. I'm not going to click on the share audio today because yesterday when I tried that, I had issue with the webinar. Here you can do the video as well, and then this is the option where you can raise hand as well as your student. So I will come back and talk about this little detail little later. Before that, I want to show you the collaboration panels, right? So this is on the bottom right corner, the purple arrow. Once you click on it, it opens this option right here. And as you can see, depending on the screen size, your students moves in, their faces moves in and out. And if you have more than a lot of students, you will have them all over. So I think I have a question. Let me just read that. Okay, see, Moshumi Lord raised hand, so this will be a pop-up if they raise their hand. I can lower her hand right now, and I will show you where you can see the agree and disagree. Let me just go over the collaborate panel. Okay, so under collaborate panel, there are 4 options. The first one is chat, is the icon, like a little blurb. And then this is where you will see the attendees, including you and your students. And see, Mushumi is already telling me that she can't hear me. And then this is the option you can share content. I'll come back in like few minutes and go over everything right here. And the last option is settings, is where you can set up your sessions, right? So since I have my Shumi, I'm just going to reply to her. I do not know why she cannot hear me, and then but I just messaged her so that at least she can see that, right? And I want her to say so that I can show you some of the features. Okay, so going back to the settings, right? You have, see, this is the status. She's giving me a thumbs up. So she got it, right? So here you can click on and add a profile picture. You can click on upload and it looks for your computer. You can also click on capture photo from camera. So today I'm going to actually upload a picture from your from my computer. I select that and then I can actually resize it any way I want. And once I am ready, I can click on I like it and it takes it. I have one more question, so let me see what's the question is about. Okay, all the recorded and stuff I will show you at the end so that I can also show you the recording for these sessions also. And whether the student has the same collaboration. Another question I received was whether the student has the same collaborate panel as the students. And they do. They have the same panel. They can also see the attendees, the chat feature, but you set it up what you are allowing them to do, which I will show you in a second. But student has the same collaborate panel. So you can ask your students to go ahead on the settings and upload their picture, right? Because you can also allow them to share their video and audio, but you have to remember you can only see or hear 6 students at a time. And I would also not recommend that because even 6 students, it can be very noisy, right? So at the beginning of the session, like I have the setups, I have everyone muted, and once you recognize someone, or you want to allow someone to speak, and then you can unmute that person. I will show you all things, right? So as you do the profile picture, and then you are done, you hit save, and then other option comes up. Here you can again go ahead and set up your camera and microphone, or you can use your phone for audio. You can set up your speaker volume the way you want. And here the notification, as you saw, Mushumi's things popped up. Maybe I don't want to a pop-up notification, so I will uncheck that because I don't want, let's say, other students, any of the students' chat to pop up for the whole class. So I can just simply click on audio notification. I will just, in that case, I will just hear a ding, or I will see here at the bottom that I have a chat. I can go in and look at it. Okay, so I don't want to do that as well. And then once that setting is done, and then it comes the session setting. And here, participants, meaning student, have these are the options what I am wanting them to do. Whether they can share their audio, whether they can share their video, whether they can post chat messages, or whether they can draw on the whiteboard and files. So let's say for this session, I want them to only post chat messages and also draw on the whiteboard and file. So if you already have students there, they will get the notification. You can no longer share audio, or you can no longer share video. If you allow it again, then they will see that you can now see the audio. So they will see this notification based on how they set up their notification as well. Okay, if they did not set any notification, then they will not receive it. So it can be very individual based on what the student set up. So you have to remember that not every student will receive your communication same way based on how they set up their notification settings. Okay, so let's say I'm done with that, and now I want to start my class, and I want to share my PowerPoint and my files. I would recommend, if you want to share files, again, it can be a PDF, image, Word document, PowerPoint, to add that ahead of time so that it's no delay. Just, go to the session 5-10 minutes before, have the PowerPoint ready beforehand and upload it beforehand so that it's already loaded, right? Because if it's a large PowerPoint, it may take some time to load in the room as well. I received this question, a very common question, that I already have this material in my Blackboard. Why can't I get it from there? You cannot. The materials you have, that you cannot pull within the Collaborate room, so you have to add it in the classroom separately. But once you upload it, it actually stays there. So these are the files actually I've been adding since Friday. So as you can see, I have 5 files. Some I added on Friday, some I added yesterday, some Monday. So that that stays, but you cannot pull from the Blackboard class itself. So I have a question. It is the if participants can share a video, does that mean an additional video, or is that about me being able to see them? It's actually not you. If you don't have anything shared, you will see, let's say this Moshumi Haidar, her video will be here instead of this blank area, right? Or instead of
But you can see what she's doing. You just can't hear her.
Yeah, preview user, you can see as well. Okay.
So she's looking at her computer screen. So you can see the tab at the top. It says Blackboard Collaborate, Course Room, and Coronavirus Update.
I'm going to pause. Give me 1 second. Hey, Lauren, can you hear me?
This is Chris. I muted Lauren for now, I think.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But you can hear me, right?
I hear you.
Okay, then perfect. Okay. So so the video will appear here, right? So whole class will see it. So now that I have actually uploaded the files already beforehand, actually I have another question. So the question I have another question. How can I be a moderator and do not let my guest audience not to have access to my settings? You are allowing what your participants can do. They cannot change your settings, right? You are making sure your students cannot share audio by selecting right here, by selecting give me 1 second, by selecting that they cannot share audio, your participant, right? So they are not changing in your settings. You are moderating what your participants or your students can do within your classroom. If you don't want them to do anything, you can even uncheck that or check that. If you want them to be able to do everything, again, you can then have them share the audio, share the video, share the chat messages, or draw on the whiteboard, right? But this is will only allow them to do things. They cannot go and change the setting for the whole class at all. Only the moderator, which is you, can do it. Okay. Okay, so with that said, I also got another question. Can you take attendance here via Blackboard Collaborate? The answer is yes. You can see who attended and how long they spent for each session. And at the end of the, I will show you at the end, because that's, you can go back to Blackboard, right? Okay.
Okay,
so
what happens when you click that microphone?
So going back to the
options.
sharing content, let's say I want to share the Blackboard whiteboard, sorry, a blank whiteboard, right? So I simply click on the whiteboard and it gets being shared. And as soon as I click on that, you can see I no longer see my students. But how can I still see where my students are? By clicking on this attendees list. My students are still there, right? I can still see them. But going back, and here I still have the options. Now I have a blank whiteboard. And once I have the whiteboard, I have this option where I can do things on the Blackboard. I can write here, this is a test, right? I can change the color. Let's say I want to change the color to black, and I can say this test. So you can write on it. and then you can draw shapes on it. Let's say I want to do eclipse, right? You can also use a pencil. If you have a tablet, you should be, see, this is a tablet, so I am writing using my finger, but you can do that. And if you want to erase it, this is the eraser, not eraser, it's actually clear button. Is you cannot just select and erase partially, you can erase the whole thing, right? So if I want to write again, I can go back right here and I can do that. I got a question also that can you share the whiteboard, right? You should be able to right click on it and the save image, do a save image that way, or you can take a screenshots. That's the best option. You get also another option how you want to want the whiteboard to display. So you can go here, you can zoom in within whiteboard. As you can see, you can fit in the screen. You can go to the actual size as well. Okay, I have one more question, so let me look at that questions. Bear with me. So the question is, if they can't share audio, how do they participate? It's not that they can't share audio, it's whether you are allowing them to share the audio or not. You can share the audio, absolutely fine. But only 6 students at a time can share the audio, and you have to give them permission to speak. So in like a classroom, you have 50 students, you cannot allow all 50 students speak at the same time. So let's say you would allow student A, B, and C speak at first, and you do your lecture, and then you again ask student X, Y, and Z speak later, right? They can share audio, but at one point time it cannot be more than 6. That's all. Okay, so now that you have the whiteboard, and if you want to stop sharing at any point, and let's say start sharing a different thing, you can go to files and click on that item, or you can simply click on this stop button right here. So if I click on stop, I will see my students again, and I want to, let's say, go to talk about this right here, animal cell cycle, and I will just click on share, and it will be shared as well, right? And let me do zoom out since it's smaller. Okay, actual size, I can do that. And I get the same option. I can still write on it and then ask my students what, let's say, what is this? Let me see. What is this, right? I can even ask them. And the student can obviously send me a chat option, or if I ask a agree and disagree question, do you think this looks normal or abnormal, right? And then student can click on here and they can select agree or disagree here as well. And once that's done, you will see under attendees, their message will appear, the same icon. For agree, they will see a green with check, disagree, you will see a red X, okay? I have one more question. How do you choose the 6 students? It's up to you, professor, because the student can raise their hand that they would like the permission to speak, and you will see their raised hand here, and then you just say, okay, Momita, you can speak, or let's say Mushumi, you can speak, or you can even ask them randomly that, unmute your microphone and speak now. So it's the way you do a classroom. You have to understand this is a limited tool. I mean, it's not obviously a regular classroom. So I would say do a practice run, whether how you like it, how you like your students speak in the Collaborate classroom. They also need to have a good microphone for them to be able to speak. If they're, so all these matters comes in factor. But again, you can decide. You can, the way I'm speaking right now, you can, if someone raise hand, you can just say, Momita, you can speak now, and the students can unmute, and then they can speak right that moment. Okay. Okay, so you get the option that you get the same option as the whiteboard. You can on an image, you can also draw, you can also write. Just write what. Let me just change the color to black. What is this? What is this? This is how you share. And then when you want to stop sharing, you click on stop and it goes away. And let's say you want to share a PowerPoint. Let me show you. Click on there. I have a PowerPoint here. For PowerPoint, it's an extra step because PowerPoint have multiple pages. So I click on share, and then it asks me from which page I want to start my lecture, right? So let's say if today I'm able to cover only like slide 1, 2, 3, and 4 that as I did on yesterday. From today I can just start from page 5 and it appears page 5. I still have the option to go back and go forward, and then I can give my students lecture on the content I have on the PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. So again, you have the still same option. You can write on the PowerPoint as well. It will not change the actual PowerPoint. So if you are worried about that, it will not. But you can lecture by drawing on it as if you want. And then you can click on the eraser button and it takes away the writing. And as you can see, it only clears the changes you made during the Collaborate session. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing this. Let me go back and let me select this, right? Okay. And so now I just got a few questions about how you can see the recordings and also how you can see the attendance list and everything. So I will go over that, but before that, let me show you how you can control your students, right? Let me move this screen a little bit. This is the panel is blocking. Okay, so let's say you want your student, you know, a lot of our classes has class presentation, and that's a big part of the class, right? So since all of us, all of our classes are distance learning now, how can you have a class presentation? So within Collaborate, you can actually make any students a moderator or a presenter. So see, let's say I want to make Momita Jabir a presenter. You see this option right here with these 3 dots within a circle. I can click on that, and I have this option to send a chat message. That's, you know, that you can do from the other. But here, see, I can make the person a moderator or make it a presenter. So if I make her presenter, she should be able to present her screen to the whole class and do a class presentation. So that's one way you can have your student do a class presentation. You can also, let's say one student is not paying attention or making, I don't know, a lot of noise or something like that. You can actually remove them from the session as well. But I don't think so that will be a case you will do that, but that option is also there. And if you are allowing them to share their audio, but when you are giving lecture, let's say background noise, 6 students are talking, or even they're not talking, their background noise can be very noisy. That's the case, you can actually go to these attendee settings right here and you can mute all. So once you mute all will be muted, and then you can go each of the student next to each of the student and give them access. Okay, I have one more question. How can I point something? The question is, how can I point something in a slide by sharing a PowerPoint presentation? Okay, so let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation. Give me 1 second. This was my PowerPoint presentation. So see, this icon right here is the pointer. So you click on it and you point. So this is the pointer. this is the pointer. The first option right here is the pointer. That's how you do point. I hope that answers your questions. Okay, so going back to the attendees, you have now, again, you can mute them all. If you have, let's say, 100 of students and you want to find one attendee, you can find the attendee by clicking on this magnifying glass and typing their name. You have all these other options, and then change it. If I don't want to keep Momi the preview user presenter anymore, I can then change it to make participant. Okay. Okay. So I have another question, is that instead of clicking share audio, I can just unmute a student I choose to and answer a question with share audio still unclicked. No, I mean, yes, but then the student has to type the question in the chat box. So if you don't have share audio checked, the only way they can communicate during the session is by typing on the chat box, as you can see that I have chat going on with Mushumi. So you will probably have a lot more chats if you have more than one person chatting with you, right? Okay. So there are something else you can actually do in Blackboard, which is polling. So to see whether the students are engaged or still active in the session, you can actually do a quick polling. I have to let you know, I actually tested with my colleagues, and you cannot download the results of a polling within Blackboard Collaborate Ultra Classroom. You can display it to your whole class, but that's about it. But there is no way to download if you have a polling question. You do a polling during a class. And but polling still can be useful. So you can use a multiple choice questions or a yes no question just to see whether they are engaged, right? You can even ask them to give you a happy face if they understood, or you can even ask them to give you a sad face if you need to repeat what you just the materials, right? So there are various ways to make sure whether the students are engaged or paying attention. But as far as polling go, you cannot download the data. You can only display how many students, like the vote polling we have in CNN. You can only say like 50% student chose the color green, 25% chose the color blue, and 25% student chose color red. So it works only that way. Okay. I have a question. Can group presentation can be done on Blackboard Collaborate? The answer is I guess one student you can make 6 students presenter, but it might be a little difficult. Let's say you have 6 students in a group. Obviously, you can make all 6 student presenter, but it can be problematic. 6 students trying to share their screen same time, talking same time. That might be a little difficult. I have not tried. I don't know how well that worked out, but for me, having 6 students trying to present at the same time, or they can choose themselves, only one person will share the screen and go over, let's say, first couple of slides, then the other person starts speaking. I mean, they have to come up with a mutual agreement, and you have to definitely provide a lot of guidance and instructions for them, because this is a new tool for your students as well. They might be confused as well. Also, they might not have the equipment to present from home as well. So we all have to be mindful about that. Okay. So I have another question. You know what? How about I do this? I'm going to show you 2 more things, and then I'm going to unmute everyone so everyone can hear each other's question. I think that would be a good idea, right? So let me go to the Blackboard let me go back to Blackboard, and I wanted to show you how you can see the recording. So the recordings is under Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, this menu option right here, and you have to click on recordings, and the recordings comes right here, and it comes with the date and the duration. And if you go in the recording option, you can actually edit name. So if you are pre-recording sessions, we recommend that you chunk it up, because after 10-15 minutes students lose attention. So you can do, let's say, 15-minute session on I don't know, algebra, right? Then of course Blackboard is going to give you a generic name, but you can go in and click on the edit name, and you can call it algebra. So you get the idea. So you get that, and you hit save, and the name changes. Students also go into the same area. They click on the menu, they click on the recording, and they see. And if you have specific topic recordings, they can just go in and review as many times they need to. There is no limitation how many times they can review. Okay. So with that said, I want to show you another option. Hold on. Not recordings. So tools, Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. So okay, so the attendees, right? So you can see the course room. I had everyone in the course room, and the option is here. So if I click on that icon right there, and I can click on view reports, and once I click on view report, let's say view report for this option right here, it tells me how many people attended that, first what time they joined in, last time, and then how many times they were there. You can export it as well. So that's the way you can actually check how many people attended. So let me see, and also you can see the number of attendees there. So let me click on this one, view reports. Here I have Moshumi Haidar, Momiti Jabir, of course, myself, and you can see their role, and also Francisco Torres as well. And then I can see Moshumi joined twice. She had some trouble, but total time she spent was 37 minutes. And I can see that Francisco, he joined 6 times, and total time he spent there was 1 hour and 20 minutes. And again, this report can be printable or export to comma separated file. Okay. So with that said, let me go to the course room. I'll stop the recording. So going back again on the session menu and click on stop recording. So you get the message recording has stopped. But that's also only for the Collaborate. And if Chris or Lauren, if you can unmute everyone, I will take everyone's question.
Okay, I'll take care of that right now. Give me a second here.
Don't mute me, okay?
I'm gonna try my best to get this right. Hold on a second. All right. Can people talk freely now?
Okay, so I actually have a question from Amy. So if Professor Amy can speak her question, because her question I have the latest, I did not answer.
Perfect. Hi, my name is Amy. How are you doing? Thank you so much for doing this. I just have one question. If my students, if I invite my students as a guest, know that they can get into my session, but not through Blackboard, how can I do to block them to use my whiteboard and to have access to the movement of my slides in PowerPoint? Is there any way I can block that?
You can, again, even you are inviting them as a guest, you have to go to the settings on the Collaborate panel. I'm actually always clicking the left one. So, and then the session settings right here, you have to uncheck so that they cannot draw on the whiteboard or files.
Okay.
So that way you can make sure that they cannot write on it. So I would recommend go through the settings before you start your class. It's very important that you do that. Okay.
Yeah, but also what about the slides? Because I did like a training with a friend, and in that part that says guest, you have moderator, you have participants, you have, so what will be the best option to put in there?
Well, they have to be participant, the students. Moderators and presenter can change the, can move the slides, but students cannot change any slides. Whichever page you show, that's the page.
That's it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Anyone else have
Hi.
any questions?
Hi, Momita. Hi, this is Chris. Is Aaron Wealth on? He had a question
Yes.
earlier, and
Okay,
go
Thank
ahead.
you. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. So my course is cross-listed across 3 different departments. And so on my Blackboard homepage, there are 3 different pages for the same course, depending on which department the students enrolled in the course from. And so I would like it to be as simple as possible for my students. I attempted to merge the course, but I don't see any evidence on Blackboard that the course was actually merged together, the 3 different courses,
Okay.
them being the same course.
Okay, so you have to go to the course that you merge the other 2 into, and
Yes.
the way you can check under users. So if you see the students from other 2 courses in that course, that your evidence that the course has been merged.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Users. Okay.
Yeah, you go to users at the bottom, you'll see you probably have more than one
Oh,
page.
yeah. Everyone's there. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, and you have to also make sure to make the other 2 classes unavailable, so the students from the other 2 courses are not confused to which one they have to access to. So that's
I'm
a good
sorry. Could you say that again?
So let's say you have a course A, B, and C. You merge B and C to A. So I'm saying that make course B and C unavailable to students, so those students does not see 2 courses.
And how do I do that?
You can go to customization on the courses, properties, and if you scroll below, you have option to set availability. You just have to
okay. Great.
know,
Thank you.
and yeah, so that's the way you do it.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else?
I
have a question.
I'll go
See,
after.
okay, see this might happen also if you allow your students to speak freely. So you have to kind of moderate them, you know, so make sure that you tell, I want student A to speak now, student B to speak now. So I don't see anyone's name, so that's why I'm just saying openly, because I'm a presenter, not the organizer. That's why I don't see anyone's name. But please speak, decide and speak. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Are you going?
Okay, well, yeah. I think everybody wants an answer for this question. How could I use anything external, such as YouTube video or anything I have on my desktop? Could you please show us?
Yes. So you again go to the area that is share file, and this option is share application in screen. That's what you can do. So you have to. There are some issues with it. You unfortunately cannot show the screen. The reason is so you cannot show the individual application, but you can actually show a different website. Let me show you, right? I'm using Firefox. So if I click on application, I have to select to Chrome. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I have this, so I can show you this page right here, or this page right here. I'm going back. So my goal is to show this page within Collaborate, right? So let's do this. No. Selection. Okay, there we go. I'm allowing it. So now it's showing that page. I did not go back and click that one. So now it's showing me the page. I have it open. So what Blackboard, there is an issue with Collaborate Ultra that you cannot share the same application that you are using. Meaning, if I am using Firefox, right, I cannot show Firefox. So if you want to share a YouTube video, open it in a different browser, Chrome, even Safari, because you are not using Blackboard there, but you have to open it in a different browser. So it tends to break if you actually share the same application. So let's see if I do entire screen and let me see, allow it. Let's see what happens. See how it breaks? So you cannot share the entire screen. You guys all see it, right? You cannot share the browser that you are using. So you have to make sure that any YouTube video you want to share, you have to open in a different browser. You also can share PowerPoint within your computer, but you have to have it open. Because I'm going to stop sharing, and if I go back again, I can only see what I have open, right? So I have to pre-open PowerPoint or Word document or anything that I have to share it within Blackboard. But it's possible. You just cannot share the browser you are using. Then it breaks.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Wait, I'm next. Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
hi. Sorry. Sir, please wait. I'm going to answer her question first, okay? Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
I teach screenwriting, and we share scripts. We workshop them. So can I have 6 at a time, all on audio?
Yes, you can. You can. You just have to, you can ask them to unmute when they are not speaking so that you don't have any background noise. Just work with your student, but you can have that. Yes, that's the maximum is allowed by Blackboard.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can I? First of all, thank you very, 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 very much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. First of all, basic question. I don't know how to merge class sessions. I teach a combined graduate and undergraduate class, and I have to merge it. Second, other very basic question. What should students do tomorrow in order to get online and listen to my synchronous lecture? Thank you.
The merging, you can send an email to our Blackboard team. Their email address is bb@hunter.cu.edu. You tell them which course is the main one, which course you want to merge into. They will do it for you. So that can be done that way. And as far as you just have to ask your students to join the class, you can, within Blackboard, you can send them an email or create an announcement, ask you to join you at that time or the class time. You can tell them you are using Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. They can access it by going to Tools and by clicking on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra and by clicking on Course Room, the way I showed you. So you have to give them specific instructions so that they know where to go there, so that they are not lost, so that they are not emailing you. Give them as much details you have to make it a little easier for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Anyone else?
Can I have a question?
Mm-hmm.
This is a question I actually asked before, and I didn't really understand your response. So there, with the audio and video, either I can control it and mute the students and say they cannot share video, they cannot share their audio, or they can do it themselves with those little icons at the bottom of the window. Is that right?
So both true. You can unmute everyone, right? You can unmute everyone by clicking them. You can also go to the settings and you can make sure that no one can share their audio, right?
Right.
But students themselves also can have can mute themselves by not checking this box or by clicking on this and that. A lot of students may not want to share the audio or video, but students also have themselves. So let's say if you allow them to share audio or share video and you have everyone unmuted, right? But if they mute themselves, you will not be able to see them. So so that you also have to keep in mind.
But once I've muted them or say they cannot share audio or video in my settings, they will not be able to control it themselves.
They will not be able to change it.
Okay.
They cannot see that at all.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
Can you show how to get the attendee list again at the end of the call?
So you go to the main Blackboard course, right? Where I was at the beginning. So next to
course
the
room.
these tiny 3 dots with the circle, you click on that, and then you click on view reports. And once you have the view reports, let's say this is the session. I want to see who attended my session on the 16th. You click on view reports and you see who attended there.
And it's printable, right?
It is printable, yes. I don't know how pretty it looks like, but it's printable. Yes, I did not print it myself, but option is there.
Can I also,
Momita.
you did that so quickly. Can I also ask you to show again how you save the call at the end?
Wait, what?
At the end of the call, how you save the recording?
The recording comes automatically. So once you are done with recording, you will go in here and you will stop recording. Right now, I don't have, because I stopped it before. So let me show you. So you will click on start recording. The option will be there. You go back, you again click on stop recording. It takes a little time for it to process. There is nothing for you to do anymore, but it may take hours depending on the load, depending on your class duration. But again, under Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, you'll go to this menu item and you will click on recordings, and all your recordings will be there. So see, the one I just did, it did not come. I have the one that I stopped before. So it does take some little time to process. Little meaning it could be hours. So just be mindful, okay?
Hi, Momita.
Thank you.
This is Chris. I want to jump in for a second. There were 2 people that had writing questions earlier, and I want to make sure you get to them.
Okay.
Dana Sullivan and Linda Olander. Can Dana go ahead?
Yes. Hi, Dana.
Dana, are you there? Okay, she may have left. Is Linda Olander there?
I am. Hi.
Okay, go ahead, Linda. Go ahead.
Actually, 2 parts. How far ahead can I prepare my settings?
A lot actually. I mean, you can, if you were doing the preparation beforehand, I would say then you can actually create individual sessions. Let me show you. So instead of doing to the classroom, you can actually create a session, and then you can set up the session setting that way, and you can do it ahead of time. See, you can also do that way. So you will know that session I'm not doing it. So, and you can do it now for, I mean, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, you can do it very ahead of time. You can do that.
So this way I'll remember it because I'd like to get into it right away. Secondly, will this be available? I know you have a schedule all week long, but will these sessions be available for us to click on later on, a week or 2 weeks from now?
We have a video editor, so he just needs to go over the videos. So none of us, well, I'm not, I don't know what he needs to go over, but right now he's not available. So we need to find a way to give him access to these videos. And I've been in touch with our manager to see how we can get that ready. And I know once that is ready, it will be posted, and I'm certain it will be posted within the online resource center. I don't know when it will be posted, but if you have any specific question, please feel free to email me and my team at training@hunter.cuny.edu. My colleague Francisco and Steve Giovino, they are handling the tickets right now. But from next week, if I'm not required to do any more training, I would even, I guess, use my cell phone to call and answer, or even set up this session individually as well. But we are not there yet. We are just taking one day at a time at this moment.
I'm sorry, at the very beginning when I signed on, I saw that this session, a statement that this session was being recorded. And so it gave me the opinion that you were going.
It is being recorded, but as I said, I don't have access to the recording. So it's Hunter College owns it. So they have our video editor go through it in order to post. As you know, the college is right now essential employee only. So we are very lucky that Chris and Lauren are there physically where I'm at home. We are all, so the video editor is not there to process the videos. The videos are definitely being recorded. It will be uploaded. When that's the question, I do not know answer to that question. But that's why I'm asking any question. I know actually also on the online page, if you go at the bottom, we have tutorials from the Blackboard company itself there. Those are very useful as well. Feel free to email me, email us. We'll get back to you as soon as we are able. We are still working from home, so you will get there. Even provide your phone number. I will call you if I have time. But the video will be available later. I just don't know when.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you show once more how to set up the class and have the students join?
So student can just simply go into tools, and they can click on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and they can simply click on course room. It's like a classroom, you have a designated classroom, let's say room 303 not. So same. So you have a course room for your class. They can simply go in and they click on join course room, right? And if you, however, want to create a different room or different session for each of your class, then you can create session. And if you have a different start and end date, depending on that will be available. Let me say test session, and I want to make it available like that, and then okay, so that's already created and is in progress because I just selected current time. Students can again simply come here and click on the test session also. So if you are using just the course room, they will simply click on course room and they will join. And if you're creating individual sessions, it will be listed here. And based on the date and time, student will just click on that one.
So they enter the Blackboard class that I am teaching, and then they go to tools, and then they go to connect to the classroom.
No, they click on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra.
Okay, tools.
And then they click on course room. Actually, on the page with all the resources on teaching remotely, there are option for student as well for Blackboard Collaborate. Feel free to email your students these options. Okay.
Thank you.
Whether their browser is supported, what are the good tips for Blackboard Collaborate and how to get started. Email them those information.
Is there any place that one can just experiment to see how one can do it and then review it? Because this is the first time I'm using Blackboard to do this.
You can just click on, you can do a session yourself on your class, and you can record it and then watch the recording later how it looks like. We don't have in any other class, or use a old course, or invite your colleagues to join to experiment how it works. Or even the first session, work with your students, ask them to that how can we do a test session first and see how we like it or not. Okay. I will take one more question and then I have to end the session.
Sorry, do the students upload their own photographs or they're just on the video?
No, they can upload their own photograph, and I would ask you to, maybe you should ask your students to upload their photographs. If they have video, they have to have the video on all the time
And then we can see each other.
Yes, but again, you can only see 6 students at a time.
Right.
Not, yeah, but ask them to upload a profile picture. So that looks good. They have the same option. They can go to the settings, and on top they just click here and they can upload. They can use their the computer camera, or they can upload their picture as well. Okay.
Thanks very much. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to
Thank you.
stop the sessions. If you have questions, email training@hunter.cuny.edu. I'm also doing sessions tomorrow from 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 12. You are welcome to join them as well. Okay. Thank you. Stay safe, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Chris.
much.
Okay, thank you, Momita.
Bye.
Thank you,
See you
Momita.
tomorrow morning. Bye.
What time tomorrow at 10?
10 tomorrow at 10. Jane at the
Can you
back.
repeat that email address for questions?
Training@hunter.cuny.edu.
Momita, what are the sessions tomorrow at 10 and 11?
10 is the basic. 11 is, what is the schedule? 11 is intermediate, and 12 is Blackboard Collaborate.
Oh, so they're early, an hour earlier tomorrow, is that right?
Yes, an hour earlier tomorrow.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
thank you, Momita.
See you tomorrow. Bye, Chris. Bye.
How can we sign up for tomorrow's class? How can we sign up?
Yeah, you can just go to the online resource. The schedule is right there. All you have to, it's the same way you did it today. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.